All right, we are on our first conference committee between House Corrections and Juvenile Justice and Senate Judiciary, conferring on House Bill 2026 as amended, I guess is passed and amended by the Senate. Natalie, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, Natalie. Would you be so kind as to just lay out the contents of House Bill 2026 and any amendments brought by the Senate to this bill?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would also note you should have two documents from our office. The first is the chart that we put together with the bills in conference. Right now, that's just House Bill 2026. And then a second chart with bills that have passed one chamber and the status of where those are. So you should have those for reference. And for anyone watching or listening, the Judiciary, Senate Judiciary and House Corrections Committee assistants have those documents. So they can email them or feel free to reach out to either Jason or I, and we can email those too as well. So I'll basically be going off the conference chart at first here. So House Bill 2026 creates a drug abuse treatment program for people on diversion. It also allows the county and district attorney's offices to enter into agreements with chief judges in those judicial districts or community corrections agencies in the judicial district for supervision of offenders who are on diversion. So the House version, new section 1, creates that certified drug abuse treatment program for people on diversion. As so long as they enter that diversion agreement after July 1 of 2021. The Senate version didn't make any changes to that section. Section 2 amends KSA 222907. The House version, the county or district attorney can enter into an MOU with the chief judge of a judicial district or a community corrections agency in that judicial district to assist with supervising people on diversion. People who are subject to that supervision would be required to pay a supervision fee. The fee would be charged and collected by the district court and then remitted to the state treasurer. And then it would be deposited and divided and credited to the SGF and to the Corrections Supervision Fund. The Senate did make an amendment to that section under their provisions in this bill. The fee would be charged and collected by the county and district or a district attorney. It would then be paid into the county general fund and then used to fund the cost of diversion supervision performed pursuant to that memorandum of understanding. Section 3 amends KSA 222909. Which provides that diversion agreements may include provisions about supervision by the county or district attorney or by court services or community corrections pursuant to that memorandum of understanding that would be entered into. The Senate didn't make any changes to that section. Section 4 amends KSA 755291, which provides that nothing would prohibit a community corrections services program from providing supervision services pursuant to a memorandum of understanding with the county or district attorney. The Senate didn't make any changes to that section. And then Section 5 amends KSA 7552-144, which provides for certified drug abuse treatment programs in the case of diversion, as opposed to just right now where those folks have to be convicted first. And again, the Senate didn't make any changes to that. And I can take any questions.
For that, any questions for Ms. Scott? I have just one, Natalie. With respect to the payment of the supervision fees to the county or district attorney and then deposited within the county general fund, does the language within the bill contemplate that those fees collected would be used exclusively for the purpose of paying fees for supervision under the memorandum of understanding that would be entered into between court services or community corrections for supervision in these cases?
Mr. Chairman, that language is found on page 3, starting at line 31. So it says that all monies collected pursuant to this section shall be paid into the county general fund and used to fund the cost of diversion supervision performed pursuant to a memorandum of understanding under this subsection. So I believe the intent would be that that money would be divided according to that MOU. If you're in a judicial district that has an MOU with court services, then it would be used for that. If you're in a county with an MOU with community corrections, then it would be used to reimburse them.
Thank you for that. Any other questions, committee? See none. So you want me to go ahead and tell you what we'd like to do? Or at least make an offer of perhaps what we might do?
Sure, that'd be fine.
I would offer that the House is in a position of agreeing to the Senate amendments in House Bill 2026 in return for the following: that we add to the conference committee report the contents of House Bill 2191 as it relates to the penalties for rioting within a prison or jail, having passed the House 124-0. I would offer that we additionally add the contents of House Bill 2374. That is a bill relating to Sentencing Commission risk and needs cutoff score establishment, passed the House 124-0. This is essentially Sentencing Commission request because they're using new risk needs assessments. They will need to validate those instruments. They're both gender specific, unlike they are now. Right now it's one assessment. This will be two assessments, one for males, one for females. They will need to establish new cutoff scores and validation in order to determine who should be eligible for Senate Bill 123 substance abuse treatment programs. And we would offer to add the contents of Senate Bill 4 as passed by the Senate. And that relates to the penalties for tampering with electronic monitoring equipment.
Thank you. Could we stand at ease for a few minutes?
Certainly, yes. And if you like, there's even an office right back in here that I'm not occupying if you want to go in there.
Thank you.
Our Senate colleagues having returned, will be back in session. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Senate has considered the House offer and position, and the Senate accepts, agrees.
Very well, appreciate that. We'll have a conference committee report drafted to reflect the agreement of the chambers, ready for signature hopefully tomorrow morning, and we'll move on. We have some additional business at a later point in time. We'll work with you to schedule that, and appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We're adjourned.